How did you feel when you saw this lawsuit that made it seem as if perhaps Diddy and Meek Mill had sex?
I mean, to each their own. And why would they not have sex when they're gay rappers?
They.
Do you think Meek Mill's gay?
We all know he's gay.
Who's we?
Rick Ross knows he's gay.
I didn't know. It's news to me.
Everybody, Rick Ross knows.
I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy. Real street forever.
Welcome back to Fame Flux, where the truth behind fame gets exposed. In the ever-evolving world of hip-hop, rivalries come and go, but some manage to leave an undeniable mark. One of the most unexpected feuds in recent memory involves Soulja Boy and Meek Mill. What started as a harmless back and forth online quickly escalated into something much more explosive. It all began when Soulja Boy, known for his unfiltered social media presence, fired shots at Meek Mill on his platforms. The comments started off small, but it was clear Soulja wasn't holding back. He accused Meek of acting fake, exploiting the culture, and not keeping it real.
I heard of Gene Deal?
Yep, interviewed him.
Okay, so like Gene like 14 years older than me, 15 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he was a probation officer. So he operated a little bit different. I was in the street full time, bro. You feel me? Like, I was outside in the field. So like, you know, you would hear Gene say when they got a threat on their life, Diddy told him, I'm not trying to hear that shit, Gene. Because it's your job to be gangster. It's your job to get wild with people. That's what you're getting paid for.
In typical Soulja Boy fashion, he didn't mince words and went straight for the jugular. He even mocked Meek Mill's past, bringing up his legal troubles and putting him on blast for his high-profile beef with 50 Cent. Meek, not one to back down, responded in a typical Meek Mill fashion, with emotion and pride. He took to social media to respond to Soulja's jabs, claiming Soulja was just trying to stay relevant and that his remarks were nothing but a desperate attempt to grab attention. But the battle didn't stop there. Soulja dropped a bombshell, shocking footage from private sessions involving Meek Mill and none other than Diddy. This footage, kept under wraps for years, showed some surprising behind-the-scenes interactions. Soulja Boy wasn't just making noise, he had proof. His move shocked the hip-hop world, forcing everyone to take notice. This wasn't just talk. Soulja had receipts that made Meek Mill's actions in the industry look suspicious. And with that, the battle between Soulja Boy and Meek Mill became something much bigger than just a petty feud. It became a war for the truth. Soulja Boy just escalated the ongoing controversy surrounding Diddy in a surprising direction by targeting Meek Mill directly. In a shocking online statement, Soulja Boy alleged that Meek Mill had inappropriate relations with Diddy, igniting a new firestorm of speculation. This unexpected move set social media ablaze and intensified public scrutiny. This confrontation isn't entirely new. Tensions between Soulja Boy and Meek Mill had been simmering for months. It initially flared up when producer Cardo criticized Soulja Boy for reportedly making insensitive comments about Metro Boomin's late mother. In support, Meek Mill joined the conversation, co-signing Cardo and indirectly condemning Soulja Boy's behavior. Meek posted a controversial comment, suggesting that if someone threatens violence and ends up harmed, it could be considered self-defense, a statement many saw as unnecessary and inflammatory. That response didn't sit well with Soulja Boy.
So when you see people like that coming out, it's because they know for a fact like it's things that's going on they don't agree with, but they not man enough to say, you know what, I'm not standing for this. So a lot of love me because if I see some guys doing something crazy to a female, hold on, boy, not in front of me. So that'll lead me to get like, oh, we ain't gonna hire him no more because he's not gonna allow this. So that's how like I ended up, like whenever Imana called me, I'm immediately coming because like he not on this strange shit y'all on. You know what I'm saying? That's why like if I don't want to say his name. I was telling the contract.
Known for his explosive reactions and refusal to back down, Soulja Boy responded aggressively. Instead of addressing Meek's point, he fired back with an unfiltered accusation involving Diddy, one that took the entire situation to a new, more personal level. This wasn't just a petty exchange. It highlighted how quickly social media can turn tense disputes into full-blown narratives. What started as a separate conversation ended in a public feud between two high-profile figures. The online timeline erupted almost instantly, triggering a digital avalanche of resurfaced content. Old clips, controversial audio, and past tweets all returned to the spotlight. With Diddy's legal battle now unfolding in court and several disturbing rumors slowly gaining legal confirmation, attention has shifted sharply toward those once thought to be on the sidelines. Meek Mill, now under renewed scrutiny, appears to be at the center of unwanted speculation. Critics and rivals, including Soulja Boy, are now taking aim, using this moment to publicly mock him. But what began as online jabs soon gained weight with developments in the legal arena. The civil lawsuit filed by music producer Lil Rod Jr. against Sean Combs included explosive allegations. Court documents reference two unnamed male artists allegedly involved with Diddy. One described specifically as a Philadelphia rapper with ties to Nicki Minaj. That limited the possible identities, and it didn't take long for the internet to make assumptions. Rather than ignore the speculation, Meek responded with a flood of tweets. Instead of diffusing the situation, the volume and tone of his posts only fueled more debate. He even suggested hiring a private investigation team to identify those allegedly linking him to the scandal, raising eyebrows instead of calming suspicions. Then came a bombshell from one of Diddy's former bodyguards. Speaking publicly, the ex-employee claimed to possess audio from one of Diddy's infamous private gatherings, parties many have referred to as freak-off nights. The bodyguard alleged that beverages were often tampered with, leaving attendees disoriented and unaware of their surroundings.
Well, let me be careful here. Let me be careful here, man. Let me be careful, because that stuff about Diddy real, bro.
What do you think about the Meek Mill accusations?
Okay. Now, you know, I used to bodyguard Rocky Fresh, who was signed to Rose.
Yep.
All right. Now, Meek said he wouldn't do a song with Rocky because Rocky wasn't street. Right. So,
as the case deepens and more voices emerge, what was once rumor is now under the microscope. And for Meek Mill, staying silent may no longer be an option. According to explosive claims from one of Diddy's former bodyguards, what allegedly happened during those infamous private nights is now taking center stage. The bodyguard insists that on one particular evening, he captured audio that left no room for doubt. The recording, he says, contained unmistakable sounds, slapping, moaning, and someone audibly yelling, "Yeah, daddy," all suggestive of highly explicit activity behind closed doors. The most shocking part of the allegation? The bodyguard didn't imply. He stated outright that the voices on the recording belonged to Diddy and Meek Mill. That single claim sent shockwaves through online platforms and media circles alike. Adding fuel to the fire, Orlando Brown, whose past statements have often stirred public debate, supported the bodyguard's claim. He said without hesitation that the voice on the tape was clearly Meek Mill's. Whether or not the public believes Orlando, the confirmation added another layer of controversy. The bodyguard reportedly provided a detailed breakdown of the recording, describing Diddy as being in full control during the event. Meek, he claimed, was not resisting, but was fully engaged in the moment. Flashback to the now infamous birthday celebration Diddy hosted for Meek Mill, an event that featured shirtless male attendees, ambient lighting, and poolside festivities. At the time, it was dismissed as just another over-the-top celebrity bash. But in retrospect, with all the new context surfacing, that video has taken on an entirely new meaning. In the clip, Diddy praises Meek, saying he deserved it and that he was proud of him. Once treated as light banter, those words now sound significantly more loaded. As the federal case progresses, prosecutors have begun introducing alleged evidence.
Little things that take place, and people will expect certain things out of him. But now, with some of this stuff's coming out, if you look at his body of work, it's been strange things in his history. So then, you go on his Twitter page, you click on his likes, bro. You see things that he's liking. That's questionable. Would you come up in here with a matching shirt with me?
Hell no.
Hell no. Ace, would you pop out with a matching shirt with me, bro? Styles, put that on something. You gonna pop out with? No, boy, it's not going like that, bro. Would you let me call you daddy?
Hell no.
No, bro. I've been saying this for years. I say, man, these boys strange, bro. The things they into is strange. I've seen so much. I've seen a lot, bro. So like with him, look how he responded to the situation. Not one time did he come out and say these things are a lie. Did you see that?
Yep.
He didn't say that.
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't deny nothing. Because if he deny it, what's gonna come out? Footage.
Photos and tapes reportedly showing Diddy engaged in explicit acts with multiple high-profile male figures. Sources from inside the courtroom say the moment one of these tapes was played, the entire room fell into a stunned, eerie silence. According to those in attendance, the recording left no ambiguity. It was graphic, intense, and audibly featured male-on-male intimacy. And once again, insiders claimed Meek Mill's name was mentioned in connection to the material. With his name circulating amid this growing scandal, it's unlikely that silence will remain a sustainable strategy. Typically known for rapid responses online, Meek Mill didn't wait long to address the controversy. He took to social media to distance himself from the escalating allegations tied to Diddy's ongoing legal situation. In his post, he attempted to redirect the conversation away from the rumors, focusing instead on drug culture in the industry. Meek wrote, "Just to put that on public record, the craziest thing I seen at a puff party is coke vibes, and that's going on at all these parties." He continued, "I'm from North Philly. I had millions since I was 23. I don't even want to be addicted to weed. Not judging, but I see it different." While the statement aimed to create a clear line between himself and the allegations, it raised new questions about what exactly he witnessed, and more importantly, what he might be trying to downplay. His emphasis on avoiding substances read more like deflection than clarification. Critics noted that such a general response didn't fully address the deeper accusations that had surfaced. And then there's the lyric.
Day 10 of Diddy's trial, I saw the tearful testimony from a former Diddy employee who'd spent years in his inner circle. She claims that he kidnapped her and threatened to kill her. In just a moment, my team of legal experts and court insiders will go through what we heard from Capricorn Clark. Now, her testimony is critically important to the prosecution because her job put her inside the core of Diddy's business empire. Now, Clark testified that she was kidnapped, her words, when Diddy found out that Cassie Ventura was dating Kid Cudi. She also told the jury today about the multiple times that Diddy had threatened her own life.
One that continues to circulate widely online. "I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy." When that line first appeared, many brushed it off as just another rap bar. But in light of the current scandal, it's being scrutinized under a new lens. What once seemed like a throwaway lyric now echoes like a cryptic confession. With court documents, audio leaks, and eyewitness accounts stacking up, even the smallest statements are being examined for hidden meanings. For many observers, that line no longer feels like metaphor or exaggeration. It feels like part of a puzzle slowly being solved. Meek's attempts to distance himself are loud, but silence on certain specifics may end up saying more than the tweets ever could. As the case continues unfolding, the public's scrutiny intensifies, and vague denials may no longer be enough. As the investigation into Diddy's alleged misconduct deepens, questions surrounding Meek Mill's involvement continue to grow, not just because of what's being said in court, but because of what's not being denied. Legal analysts have pointed out that despite multiple online posts, Meek Mill hasn't directly addressed the core claims being circulated. Behind the scenes, sources close to the case have hinted that more digital evidence may be in possession of federal prosecutors,
including during her very first day on the job. And she said that Diddy had final approval over every aspect of Cassie's career. Now, Clark, she worked for Diddy on and off for more than a decade, starting first as a personal assistant in 2004. And what she alleged happened in December of 2011 may be the most shocking. That's when Diddy discovered that Cassie was in a relationship of some kind with Kid Cudi. She said that Diddy banged on her door around 6 o'clock in the morning, holding a gun and furious that she didn't tell him about Cassie and Cudi. Clark says to the jury, quote, "He just said, get dressed, we're going to kill this N-word." And when she tried to protest, she said Diddy told her, "I don't give an F what you want to do, go get dressed." Now, Clark said that she was then swept into a Cadillac Escalade. They drove to Kid Cudi's home, and she claimed that Diddy and one of his security guards then went inside the house.
This reportedly includes encrypted messages, metadata from event security systems, and potential eyewitness statements, some of which allegedly place Meek at more than one of Diddy's now infamous gatherings. Industry insiders say federal agents are also reviewing financial transactions tied to these exclusive events. Private jets, rental mansions, and party security services were all reportedly paid through corporate intermediaries, potentially designed to shield high-profile guests from exposure. But investigators now believe these ledgers may reveal far more than just who attended. They may expose how certain individuals were compensated or incentivized to participate. While no charges have been filed against Meek Mill, the mounting speculation is beginning to affect public perception. Sponsors are reportedly monitoring the situation closely. Analysts in the entertainment world warn that even unproven associations can trigger serious brand consequences, particularly when linked to ongoing federal trials involving trafficking, coercion, or exploitation. Moreover, the legal team representing one of Diddy's accusers has filed motions requesting the court to compel certain celebrities to testify. Though names have not been released publicly, many believe Meek could be among those summoned, especially if the audio, photos, or messages suggest any level of awareness or complicity. With every court date, more details are leaking and more reputations are at risk. The entertainment industry is bracing for fallout that could permanently alter the careers of several artists. As the federal case moves forward, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. This scandal may just be in its early stages. Just when it seemed like the conversation was quieting down, Soulja Boy reignited the entire controversy, and it wasn't accidental. His timing was calculated, knowing full well that stirring up old allegations would send the internet back into full investigation mode. And that's exactly what's happening now. Social platforms are buzzing again. Users are reanalyzing every piece of audio, every photo, and every court leak, trying to connect the dots between public statements, music lyrics, and previously overlooked footage. Theories are now emerging that suggest more than just coincidence. Some are claiming strategic leaks, orchestrated revenge, and delayed exposure. One widely circulated theory suggests the infamous audio may not have surfaced randomly. Some claim it was being withheld until the perfect time to maximize impact, possibly even under someone else's direction. Others insist the public backlash has only scratched the surface of what's coming next, especially as federal investigations widen their scope. Now that courtroom proceedings continue to validate some of these long-standing rumors, what was once gossip has begun to shift into something much more serious. Alleged connections are being scrutinized, and reputations are hanging in the balance. So what's your take? Has the industry finally reached a point of no return? Are these just rumors amplified by internet noise? Or is the truth about to explode in full detail? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're here for verified updates and the real story behind the headlines, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The next chapter in this story is coming fast, and you won't want to miss what happens next.